What's up, guys? It's Bumpkins. Today is Wednesday, May 11th. Wednesday means New Comic Book Day. New Comic Book Day means New Comic Book Haul video. As always, I went down to Infinity Flux here in Chattanooga, Tennessee for another big old stack of books and a few extra goodies as well. Real quick, guys, if you need a comic book shop and you're in the US and you don't have your own comic shop or you need a better one, reach out to Infinity Flux. They'll be linked in the description below. If you want to set up a pull list, you can reach out to them, let them know what titles you want to add to that pull list, and they can help you out. Also, this is the first video in my new library. If you followed me on any of my social medias, you're probably sick of seeing all this already because I've been posting nonstop about it. But I've been working on it for a long time, and it's finally here. I'm upstairs now in what used to be my dining room, now my library. I was sort of downstairs in a corner of my man cave, just kind of crammed in the back there. So yeah, it's super nice to have this. This is the first time I've had all my big boy books, my omnibuses and trades and hardcovers. First time I've had them all in one place. When I was going through it, I found some stuff I forgot I had. So yeah, this is really cool. So my videos are gonna be here for the foreseeable future anyway. Anyway, let's get into the books because we've got some really good stuff this week. It was a big week, bigger than the last couple weeks have been, and there's some really good and interesting books. Starting with Marvel, we've got Captain America: Symbol of Truth #1. So a couple weeks back, we had the Captain America #0. I don't remember if it had a tagline on it or not. But that story was basically setting us up to have these two different Captain America books. One with Sam Wilson in this book, the other with Steve Rogers, which I think comes out next month. And this one was really good. We've got Sam Wilson and then Joaquin Torres, Falcon. They are trying to stop a shipment of super soldier serum on a train. They got to figure out where it's going, who it's going to. There's a really nice action set piece in there, but by the time they get to the end of all that, they find something that they weren't expecting. So it was really, really good. I am excited for the larger story. This was mostly setup, but still some fun action. So I'm excited to see what's coming, especially with the way that it ended and a couple characters that we saw at the end. I think it's going to be really interesting. The art by R.B. Silva is fantastic. So yeah, I was really happy with this book. I was really excited to get it, and I'm really excited to have more Captain America books. Next up is Hulk vs. Thor, Banner of War Alpha. So this is the first part of these crossovers that I keep talking about that just aren't these big, wild, universe-spanning events. They're just crossovers that weave between a couple of books. This one is going to weave back and forth between Hulk and Thor. You know, big surprise there. But this book is nothing but a giant fight between Hulk and Thor. It's really cool. Thor is going after the Hulk for allegedly killing 17 people in a diner. I don't know when that happened. Maybe that was part of Immortal Hulk. I think maybe it was. I didn't read Immortal Hulk, so if you did and you're watching this and you know, you're probably screaming at me. But I guess there's some, you know, Thor doesn't have all the information. Hulk's trying to explain it to him for as much as he can before he just starts getting mad and starts punching things. So, like I said, this issue was just one giant battle for 22 pages or however long it is. It was really fun, the art was really good, and I am excited to see what happens next, especially with how it ended. Especially with how it ended, I'm excited to see what happens next. Next up is King Conan #4. I haven't read any of this yet, so this is going to go in the to-read pile. But I've been enjoying getting these books because the King Conan books don't show up on Marvel Unlimited, and I think they do get collected in trade, but I've been enjoying the original Conan. Oh, I can point to it now because I have them over. Oh, yeah, there they are. Yeah, I can point to them now because they're actually here behind me. But yeah, I've been having fun with the old Conan stories for my History of Marvel videos, and I can't wait to jump on this one. So today was a pretty crazy day for me. I didn't get the chance to read as many books as I wanted to. One of the ones I wanted to read, I didn't get the chance to before I started this, is Moon Knight, Black, White, and Blood #1. I very much enjoy the Black, White, and Blood books. I haven't gotten them all. I didn't get the Deadpool ones because I don't really like Deadpool. I think I got a couple of Electros. I got all the Wolverine ones. They were really cool. I think I got the Carnage ones. But doesn't matter because this one's Moon Knight. So basically these books are anthology stories. Each issue is just a collection of maybe 3 or 4 shorter stories. They're all in black and white except for the red, and anytime there's blood or anything like that. And with Moon Knight, there's probably going to be a lot of that. So I can't wait to read just some... I guess there's 3 stories in this because there's 3 different creative teams. But yeah, I can't wait to read some short-form Moon Knight stories that are all covered in blood. So one that I did read that I really enjoyed is Shang-Chi #12. So this is the last issue of this particular series, but we know that it is going to continue on in a new series called Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. No, I'm sorry, that was the movie. Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings, I think is just what it's called. Because he has the 10 rings now, apparently. So he got them at the end of last issue. He used them in this issue. It was very similar to how the movie did it. I typically don't love when comics that have been around for forever feel like they have to adjust themselves to match whatever movie just came out. I'll make an exception in this because Shang-Chi, I like him being an awesome martial artist, but if he has a little bit of extra oomph given to him by the 10 Rings, that's pretty cool too. So it was cool to see him use these just like he did in the movie, and I just am really interested to see, there's only so much you can do with that though, right? Or is there? I guess we'll find out in the next series, but yeah, I enjoyed seeing it, and I'm very much looking forward to the next series. And then last from Marvel, one that I really wanted to read, but I just didn't get the chance to, What If Miles Morales #3. This one is What If Miles Morales Became the Hulk. First one, he was Captain America. The second one, he was Wolverine. Those were pretty interesting, so I suspect that this will also be equally interesting. It still boggles my mind how this does not tie into the main Miles Morales story, the book, I mean, because he is also bouncing around multiverses in that book right now. So we've just got 2 different series with Miles in different multiverses, and that's still pretty cool, though. So I can't wait to read this. I like that cover. Hopefully the art inside is good. This should be fun. As for DC, it was a pretty small DC week. I only got to read one of the books because I'm behind on all the rest of them, but we'll go through them. Future State Gotham #13. I haven't read any of this series yet, but the ones I have flipped through, I really dig the artwork. I think it looks really cool, and I can't wait to read this story. The next one is I Am Batman #9. Just like Future State Gotham, I haven't read any of this yet. I've got a long box stuffed full of Bat books that I got to catch up on. The entire Tynion run of Batman, all the detective books that were around that era as well, Nightwing, I Am Batman, Future State Gotham, Joker. I got a ton of stuff to catch up on, so this Future State Gotham are going to get squeezed into that box, but I am going to catch up on them at some point. The one that I did read and that I really enjoyed is Superman Son of Kal-El #11. This opened with a really cool scene between John and Batman, which is a cool pairing. I made a TikTok about one funny little thing that I noticed during that conversation that I really enjoyed. But this is cool. We get more John and Nightwing, which was very fun when they had their little 2-part crossover. John is still trying to figure out, how to deal with how he's been framed for murder, and we've got Lex and Bendix sort of teaming up to try to destroy his reputation and tear him down. And he realizes that he may have delivered. I'll just say he may have delivered a weapon into the Hall of Justice and not realizing it, so he's got to figure out how to deal with that. So just more awesome. I just love this story that's been going on for all, 11 issues now. This has been really fun. One of my favorite books from DC. And then last up from DC, because I told you it was a light DC week, is Suicide Squad Get Joker #3. I believe this is the last book in this series. I only read the first one of these so far, but I really liked it though. Black Label, so they can do a little bit more. But seeing the Suicide Squad sort of take on the Joker, which is what I really wanted the first Suicide Squad movie in 2016 to be, really fun. I can't wait to finish this out. As for Image and the other indies, this is where we've got some really cool, interesting books. So starting with Image, starting with crossover #13, I actually thought that this was the end of the series. Based on how it ended, I guess it's not. Maybe it's #15 that ends the series, or maybe I'm just crazy and the series isn't ending at all. But this does wrap up the arc that they've been telling. It doesn't end the series because it definitely is going to continue with the way that it's ended. But we basically got a big, I don't want to say too much, because this was just crazy and big and lots of strange ideas, and you really need to read it for yourself. But we had a big battle between a bunch of the different characters that we've seen pop up in this book. Gosh, I don't know what else to say about it other than... Crossover, it does feel like it's starting to get away from me a little bit. It's getting harder to keep up with it. It feels like it doesn't even come out on a regular basis either, but I might be wrong about that. If it doesn't end in a couple of issues, like I think it does, I'm probably going to hop off and just wait for trades. But I was glad to have at least read through all of this because it's been an interesting story. I'd like to go back and read it all again straight through one day. I think it'll make more sense. But this definitely was the culmination of the story that they've been building to for a while. Something interesting happens with one of the characters that just showed up a few issues ago, and it's very meta. But if you've been reading it, you'll probably want to read this as well just to see how it all shakes out. If you haven't been reading it, maybe pick it up and trade, because it is an interesting story. Next up from Image, and probably, I'm going to say, at least right now, my favorite that I've read, my favorite of the ones that I've read, and I obviously haven't read them all, but of the ones I read today and yesterday, this is my favorite so far. 8 Billion Genies, #1. I loved this. So the premise of this is really interesting. It actually kind of sounds like the plot of Wonder Woman 1984, which isn't so great, but this one was a lot better. So basically, we don't know how, okay? So we just have to accept the fact that it just happened. Maybe we'll find out how later. Everybody on Earth gets their own genie, their own little blue genie. They look just like this. And the genies tell everybody on the planet, you get one wish. And they go ahead and you know, establish the rule right at the beginning. You only get one wish. You do not get more wishes, only one. And what do 8 billion people on the planet wish for when they get one single wish? One of the main characters, at least in this book, I don't know, I guess maybe he will be in the series or a mini-series, I guess. He makes a really interesting wish I thought was very clever, and I am interested to see how that plays into the larger story as these continue to come out. There's a lot of really weird wishes in here. What's really cool is when all the genies pop up, there's a two-page spread, I think, and it says the first 8 seconds, and it shows like sort of chaos. A few pages later, the first 8 minutes. So it kind of shows you like a lot of people are using these wishes right off the bat. I think the next issue we're going to get the first 8 weeks or the first 8 months. I'm not sure, but kind of showing you how things are going crazy really quick. So this was just really interesting. Such an interesting premise. There were some wishes made that didn't quite pan out the way the wisher thought it would because of other wishes. Just a whole lot of cool stuff about wishes. Really clever. Was it Charles Soule who wrote? Yeah, Charles Soule wrote this. I loved his run on Daredevil. He was big on Star Wars. He's done all kinds of cool stuff. I thought this was really interesting. This would make a great trade, but I can't not. I want to read it so bad. I can't not get it as it comes out monthly. So I definitely will be picking up the next issue as soon as it comes out. Next from Image, another one that I wanted to read today. Actually, no, I couldn't read this today because I'm one issue behind, I think. Or I might not be. Regardless. Nocterra #10. This has been a really cool series. Actually, I did read the last issue because I remember what happened. So our heroes have teamed up with Blacktop Bill because they are trying to save the world and they need his help. Blacktop Bill is a bad guy. He's not one of these, like, bad guys with a heart of gold or an anti-hero that, you know, oh, he'll kill bad guys, but he'll also save a kid in the street. No, he is a bad guy, which is really fun to read sometimes, and it makes it interesting because we have to see how our heroes work with him, and can they even do that? So, like I said, I didn't get to read this issue, but everything leading up to it is interesting, and I expect that this will be really good as well. Next up, and one that I haven't read because I'm super far behind, but I love the cover, Scorch #5, the X-Men homage variant cover. I think maybe there's one more variant coming, and then we'll be able to put all 4 of them together. I think this is the 3rd one. I think we've got one more left. I think it's the Magneto homage to whichever X-Men #1 cover that was. But yeah, I mean, this is an awesome cover by McFarlane. A lot of, I don't even know, Cygor and Haunt. I can't remember, Redeemer, and I'm not sure who that guy is. I guess I'll know when I read it. But yeah, this is gonna go in the, oh, look at that, it's even got the, I didn't notice this, it even has like the Marvel 30 years, although it's Image 30 years, but yeah, this is really cool, box art and everything. So this is gonna go in the Spawn pile, and I'm gonna catch up at some point. And then speaking of the Spawn pile, Spawn #329, haven't read any of these either, but it's gonna go in the pile, and I can't wait to catch up. So as for the other indies, and probably my second favorite of the ones that I've read so far is Grimm #1. There's been a lot of hubbub about this one in the days and weeks leading up to this, and the hype is real. This one was really interesting. First of all, this nice Virgin foil cover that was not an incentive, which is crazy. It's rare to see a Virgin cover that's not an incentive, or a foil cover that's not an incentive, but it's extra rare to see both of those that aren't an incentive, so I had to get that one. I don't know how well you can see the foilness of it, but this features a girl who is a Reaper. She's basically, you know, like as in the Grim Reaper, you know, when somebody dies, she goes and collects their soul and sends them to wherever they're going to go. The thing in this world is that everybody who has died, they remember how they died, except for her. She doesn't remember how she died. Also in this book, she loses her scythe, and she has to go on a, not really a quest, but she has to track it down. I mean, she knows where it is, and she has to go get it. But then something happens at the end, which is very surprising, both to us as the reader and to her as the character, and we're going to see what happens. This is another one which is going to make a fantastic collected edition, but it was really good too, and I don't want to wait for the collected edition, so I'm definitely going to get the next issue. So yeah, Grimm from Boom Studios, if you are looking for something a little bit different to read, this is definitely it. And then last for the new issues, one that I did read that I didn't really love, Transformers Last Bot Standing #1. So even as a kid, I never really could get into Transformers comics. I have several of them from the 80s and 90s. I did read them when I was a kid, but something about them, they just never grabbed me. I mean, I didn't hate them or dislike them. They just didn't grab me like other comics did. So I've never really read too many Transformers comics, especially in the last 20 years or so. But I picked this one up because I thought it, you know, it sort of gave me that Last Ronin vibe. And Last Ronin was really cool, even though I haven't really read that many Ninja Turtles comics in the last 20 years either. I read Last Ronin, and Last Ronin was awesome, and I wanted to see if this was kind of sort of in the same vein. This was nowhere near as good as Last Ronin, at least for me. And again, I'm not a Transformers comics fan, so if you are, you may very well like this, and you should definitely try it out. But this just didn't grab me. We spent a lot of time on a planet. I don't even remember the planet's name, but the planet, the environment of the planet basically makes it look like an old Western, like set in the 1800s. There's what look like horses and wagons and stuff, but there's also cars, and it's a little strange. But we do spend a lot of time with the beings on that planet, and not so much time with Transformers, which is really the whole reason I don't like any of the Michael Bay Transformers movies, because it's Decepticons versus the military with a special guest appearance by Autobots. Whatever. Yeah, so this was kind of like that. There's a lot of dialogue, a lot of stuff, a lot of just chatter and things that I just didn't care about. We do find out who the last bot standing is in this book, but I won't tell you. But I probably won't be picking up the rest of these. It just didn't grab me like the Last Ronin did. But again, if you are into Transformers books, you may want to check this out. Picked up a couple issues from the dollar bins as well, which I haven't looked through in a while, but I found some good ones here. Punisher War Journal #40, just because I somehow stumbled into collecting Punisher War Journal, and I didn't have this one, so I added that to that. But speaking of Punisher, also Punisher War Zone #7. I haven't been actively collecting these, but I do have issues 1 through 6 from like my original copies from back when I was a kid, and then I found #7, so I was like, well, yeah, I'll just add on to that collection. I also picked up Batman Judge Dredd Judgment on Gotham. I remember when this came out, I want to say it was 91. I remember it when it came out originally, but back then I was just sort of a Marvel zombie. Image hadn't come out yet, and I only read Batman and other DC stuff just here and there, and I definitely didn't read any Judge Dredd or anything like that. So when I saw it was for $1, I thought, hey, you know, I missed out on that a long time ago, so let me pick it up and see how it is. So I did. And then last one from the dollar bins, Justice League America Annual #5. It's part of the Armageddon 2001 storyline. I've mentioned this a few times. This is another one of those where I feel like I missed out on it. This was early 90s, I think 91. Yeah, this is 91 as well. And I just, you know, I saw all these Armageddon titles on the newsstands, and I just wasn't reading a lot of DC back then. And then thinking back on it now, I wish I would have, because there was a lot of good stuff back then. So I've been picking up these Armageddon titles anytime I find them, and this is one of them. But the fun doesn't stop there. I got a couple extra goodies as well, starting with the Avengers Epic Collection of Operation Galactic Storm. This is my, you know, middle 90s, teenage years right here. I don't even know if I read this whole thing, but I remember reading bits and pieces of it. This is when Eric Masterson Thor, Quasar was big in Marvel. We got White Vision and Cersei was part of the Avengers. That whole era, Black Knight and all that stuff. This was like 20 parts or something like that, but I think this has the whole thing. And oh, this is 92, I think, so I guess maybe early 90s. But yeah, I just never read the whole thing, and this just tickles that nostalgia bone. So I am going to tear into this one at some point and relive my childhood. This next one is one that I'm really excited about because I read the first issue and loved it, but instantly knew that I would prefer to have it as a collected edition, and here it is. King of Spies by Mark Miller and Matteo Scalera on art. Like I said, the first issue was really cool. I do remember thinking it was kind of set up for the story to come, but it's just really intriguing. Although I don't remember the guy's name, but it's this guy right here, and he's sort of a you know, aging spy trying to get out of the game. I don't even remember the full details of the story, but the first issue I know was really good. As the other, it was only 4 issues, I think. It says it collects 1 through 4. So I kept thinking about picking it up as it came out, but I just knew that it would be a great collected edition. It's here, and I can't wait to read it. And last but certainly not least, I got another big boy book, Moon Knight Volume 2 Omnibus. So this continues on. Can you see it over there? No, you can't. I've got my Moon Knight Volume 1 Omnibus over there, and I left a spot for it because I knew this was coming in this week. So this continues from the Volume 1 Omnibus with the 1980 series, starting with 21. So the Volume 1 is 1 through 20, and then some stuff before that. This one's 21 through 38. This has the 6-issue Fist of Khonshu miniseries from 1985. That's where that's the first appearance of Arthur Harrow from the TV show, which was awesome, and the ending was really cool. I loved everything about it. So this is just continuing that. So we've got, you know, the rest of the 80 series, 85 miniseries, some Marvel team up. There's Marvel fanfare, and there's some other random stuff in here too. But yeah, I just wanted to get this to go with my other Moon Knight over there, and yeah, can't wait to break into it. And that's it, guys. Another big haul, bigger than we've had the last couple weeks. I guess we're maybe starting to get back to form, and I think the next couple weeks are going to be pretty big as well. So be on the lookout for all that. But guys, I appreciate you watching. If you like this video or any of the other videos on my channel, maybe consider hitting the subscribe button. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give it a sarcastic thumbs up. And if nothing else, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you picked up this week. Did you get any big boy books, collected editions? Did you, was this a big week for you? Did you like Grimm? Did you like 8 Billion Genies? What was your favorite this week? Just leave me a comment and let me know. I love comic books. I could talk about them with a room full of people or just to a camera. Guys, don't forget, comic books are supposed to be fun. They are just another fun form of storytelling. There is clearly plenty of comic books for everybody to be able to look through them and find something that interests them, and then it's super duper easy to simply ignore the things that don't interest you. Also, don't forget that it doesn't matter how many books you buy each week or each month. What makes a great comic book haul is that the stuff that you get is special to you, really gets you excited to sit down and read these things. Just makes you happy and makes you glad that you have them. Whether it's 1 book, 10 books, 100 books, it doesn't matter. As long as you enjoy what you get, that's what makes a great comic book haul. So guys, I appreciate you watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.